I'm sorry, the Business Committee only allocated 3 spots to this, so I'm sorry that the member doesn't get a call. Can I just say, on behalf of all the comments that have been passed today, I'm sure the former member will be very impressed and encouraged by those comments, and maybe, fortunately, he doesn't get a right of reply. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Call on Government Order of the Day number 3.
Appropriation.
Point of order. The Honourable
Speaker,
Heather Roy.
Thank you. Could I correct a vote on the misuse of drugs, or I seek leave of the House to correct a vote, Mr. Speaker,
yes,
on the
you need to
misuse of
seek
drugs.
leave, and what is the leave you're asking for?
I would like to seek leave to alter the Act vote. I should have voted 4 instead of 5 in opposition to the bill.
Right, leave is sought to change the vote for Act from 4 to 5.
No, I'm sorry, the other way around.
From 5 to 4. Leave has been sought for that purpose. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Now the results of the misuse of drugs third reading. Ayes are 104, the noes are 14. The record will be corrected. A call on Government Order of the Day number 3.
Appropriation 2011-12 Estimates Bill, committee stage continued.
I declare the House in committee for further consideration of the Appropriation 2011-12 Estimates Bill. Mr. Chairman.
The House and Committee for further consideration of the Appropriation 2011-12 Estimates Bill. Members, when we last considered the bill, a debate on vote health was in progress. Paul Hutchison has the call. He has about 3.5 minutes remaining.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I must say it was a pleasure listening to the members of the Labour opposition being so gracious about my colleague, the Honourable John Carter. And it was great to hear the enthusiasm of the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove when he heard that I was about to speak on the good news in terms of the estimates vote health, because indeed they are very good news. $528 million made available this year, $1.5 billion made available since the National Government came into power in 2008. But, Mr. Chair, what I do want to talk about is health promotion, disease prevention, because this is something that the Labour opposition goes on and on and on about. And we have an absolutely incredible record. First of all is immunisation. Immunisation back in 2007, in the order of 76% of 2-year-olds were covered. Now it has rocketed up to 90%, an absolutely excellent achievement in the last few years. But let's look at the second thing, home insulation. Under the Labour government, something like 2,000 or 3,000 homes were insulated. Under the National Government, 100,000 homes have been insulated. Another great public health achievement, because there's no doubt that there's a whole spectrum of respiratory illnesses that are being prevented by this initiative, which has been executed so ably by the National Government. And let's go on to rheumatic fever. This budget, $12 million put into clinics for children. I think the plan is something like 22,000 children will be covered in this particular initiative, something that the Labour government talked about as one of their many, many priorities and strategies year after year. What did National do? We've put it into action. Then we go on to smoking, and of course, what happened under Labour? Something like a 10% excise tax in 9 years. National has executed a 30% excise tax, and we know that this is one of the most effective methods in reducing smoking and all the ill health that is associated with that. But let's have a look at the roll out of the before-school checks. Something like, again, 1,000 or so under the Labor government. And all they could do was about 1,000 checks. We have actually achieved 100,000 children have been checked before school checks. 100,000, and in the order of 8,500 children have actually gone on to have their eyesight corrected or various other interventions which have helped their eyesight. And in the field of maternity, and I must say that if ever there's an area of health promotion, disease prevention, it must be the area of maternity.
Chris Tremaine.
Thank you, Mr Chair. It's great to be able to take a call on the estimates debate on the health budget estimate, and particularly to focus on some of the achievements that the Minister, Tony Ryle, and his team have made in this area. Because if you think about health, it's one of the few budget portfolio areas across all the portfolios where we've actually been able to increase funding to that area. In fact, constituents will be pleased to know that health alone has received $1.5 billion worth of additional funding over a 3-year period, which is absolutely fantastic. Because if you think of the recessionary environment we came into as a government, extremely difficult environment to come in, many people would have said, well, OK, we really need to cut our cloth to fit the revenue that's coming in the door. Well, actually, we took a very practical approach to this, and there were some key areas within government spend, health being one of those, education being another of those key areas, where we continued to spend at the level and beyond what we were previously spending, investing in the health of our community and investing in our education. There's nothing surer. And, ladies and gentlemen, it has paid, Mr Chair, huge dividends. Huge dividends, particularly the focus that Tony Ryle has brought to the 6 key areas of focus with these new national standards in health, which are absolutely fantastic. In terms of cancer treatment, just where he's focused each of the DHBs on lifting the bar in terms of cancer treatments, just focusing on that has made a huge difference. Take immunisation. I know in my own province of Hawke's Bay, the Hawke's Bay District Health Board and their immunisation team have lifted the level of child immunisation to levels that we wouldn't have anticipated 2 or 3 years ago. They've actually, as a team, through their district health nurses, have done a fantastic job. It's interesting that the Labor opposition would take time to criticise district health nurses and the work that they're doing in our community to immunise young babies and to improve the health and welfare of lower poverty groups in our community. I think it's fantastic. They are concerned about it. It is a worry. Look, there have been other standards that we've focused on there, which is elective surgeries, lifted the level of elective surgeries despite the difficult times. It's been absolutely fantastic. A&E waiting times, we've seen those improve throughout DHBs around the country, and cardiovascular services improved again. I know, look, a wonderful initiative in the Hawke's Bay DHB has been this nurse-led initiative to allow prescribing of diabetes medicines which is a wonderful enabler that the Minister of Health, Tony Ryle, has implemented in this term of government. Absolutely fantastic. And smoking cessation. Actually another focus that we've had in this government, which has been absolutely marvellous. One of the things I do want to focus on with the estimates, Mr Speaker, is more than $500 million invested in hospital capital projects. And, Mr Chair, I was particularly fortunate on Monday to be at the Wellesley Road Health Centre, where as part of that $500 million capital investment, we were able to open a new digital X-ray facility at the Wellesley Road Health Centre. Absolutely sensational. The project started just 3 months ago. Not sure how that could have been started under the Labor government if it was started 3 months ago and then implemented now. Let's have a talk about that Wellesley Road Health Centre, which under Labor was going to close. That's what's going to happen under Labor. We're getting to the end of its 10-year lease, and that government over there was going to close that centre. Well, actually, I attended if that's rubbish, what was the protest that I was a part of in the last term of government, making sure that facility stayed open for the citizens of Napier, and it has. But what's more important is we've signed a 10-year lease now in this term of government, not under a Labor government, that's going to ensure the longevity of that service for Napier residents. And now with this new digital radiology facility, can I acknowledge Wetsky Clue from the Andrew Lesprints, Warwick Frater, who've brought about these new services there, and Paula Robinson, who's going to be heading up the new digital service there in Hawke's Bay. This is fantastic. But in particular, I want to acknowledge the board of the DHB, led by Kevin Atkinson, who's done an amazing job at actually ensuring that DHB is going to be one of the more profitable ones going forward, that at least it will break even and reach profitability. The first time that we've seen that in many, many years. That's absolutely fantastic. Kevin's done an outstanding job together with thank you, Mr. Chair.
The question is that both health stand part of the schedule. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. A party vote. Clerk will conduct a party vote.
New Zealand National.
57 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
42 votes opposed.
Green Party.
9 votes opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
4 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
Toko toru e tautoko ana.
Progressive.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Mana. Honourable Chris Carter.
1 vote opposed.
Any other votes?
Ayes are 65, noes are 53. The ayes have it. The question now is that vote state services stand part of the schedule. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that vote ACC stand part of the schedule.
Mr. Chairman.
Honourable